What's up, guys? How we doing? It's Nick here with some raw day trading, and I am here to break down pretty decent day today. It was wild in the markets. It was absolutely wild. There was a whole bunch of stuff going on. I think at one point you'll see in the tape that all three stocks I was watching were all halted at once, and that was followed by just a whole bunch of action, a lot of it pretty predictable. It felt today like the market makers, the shorts, they stepped out of the way. They weren't trying to short every tick. And it felt a lot more like 2020 and 2021 than it did in a long time. I will say I did very well today, at least for my standards. I'm up $1,684 after fees. My fees were very low. I did not trade any penny stocks today, although there was a TNXP that was moving. It was a penny name. I did not trade it. I did not want to trade it. I was already up a whole bunch. At one point I was up $1,775. And I was trading PFRX, and I gave back $100 or like $70 on like 100 shares, and that was annoying. But I was, it was in the wrong spot. I was just it was almost like token trades. I was taking it seriously, but not super seriously, and those are always dumb to do. So, anyways, let's get into some video recaps here. There's a lot of tape to review. Just waiting while my videos load. I don't know why they take a long time. Yeah. So I think that move from NUKK the last few days really had it flying. It looked even like it was going to move again today, but that did not end up happening. What is going on here? Why is it taking forever for this to organize? Actually, this might be there we go. All right, 822. Yeah, so this first half hour was basically a firestorm. Starting out pre-market here at the top of the hour, BPTH was pushing highs, and it was breaking through the 200-day, breaking through a couple pivots. Daily chart didn't look fantastic. It looked like it was a lot of spike reversal, whatever. And then VRAR was another one that I was watching. Let's just go all the way to the open. I wasn't really sold on anything going into 9:30. I remember thinking that while I was like doing my last little bathroom break before the open happened. And so NUKK was moving. I was like, okay, at least I'll have it up on the chart just for, I can review it. And the BPTH was the other thing that I was watching. I just wanted it for a short little pop. I think that's what it gave me here. Let's see what happens. So this was my 4 seconds in, 5. Just trying to sell off here, Boom. I get in, get a little bit of slippage there, and immediately 20 cents right there, or 15. Call it 15 cents. Nice little trade. Start off the day, $300 there. APCX coming in out of the depths, and I'm just sitting here waiting to buy it. I don't really hit it with any size. Not really sure on it. I don't take that trade right there where it tested 200. That was a mistake. But it did look very sketchy. I did not want to jump in with size. Maybe if I had smaller size queued up, I would have hit it. yeah, I'm uncertain. I'm playing with the chart, and it ends up kind of going. Um, Still watching it. Still watching it. Now it looks like it's going to push $1. There's VWAP there. Trying not to. Yeah, there's the dollar. And I just hesitated too much. That was the moral of that story. I hesitated way too much. Protected my gains, hesitated too much, really just like sitting back, allowing the day to kind of unfold a little bit to get a vibe of how it's going to go. And it's going to go like that. So BPTH halted up, signaling down. VRAR halts up, signaling flat for a second. Yeah. Let's see my next trades here. I know I'm hesitating way too much on this. This is going to go down here. It's getting held at $1. There's another trade. I'm really, really not taking advantage of the opportunities on this one. And I remember being kind of like, sketchy about it a little bit. I don't know why. Maybe because I didn't want to incur fees, because I know 9,000 shares is going to inevitably start stacking fees if I start trading with that. I didn't want to take an L and lose the profit I already made. I was too timid at this point. This was a good setup, good stock. It was showing strength. I do end up jumping in, but it ends up being a little bit later here. So I switch out from BPTH when it starts signaling on the imbalance that it's going to open lower. I then get VRAR up when it starts signaling that it's going to open $2 higher. And I'm just like, wow, okay. APCX starts dipping now. I take one trade there. I forgot where. Get in at 06. Get out at 750 and just knock the stock back down. I think I got slip on that entry. Oh, no, didn't get slip. It was just a late entry. Anyways, then it ends up going all the way back up. That's cool, and halting. And so, but I'm up 500 at this point. I'm like, okay, got to stay focused. PRFX starts grinding up. Totally missed this one. I was looking at it at $7 after it came out of the halt. I think there were like, this was when there were 4 stocks halted all at once. Don't take any trades on that. Start watching APCX out of its halt. VRAR is halted for 10 minutes now. Actually ends up being halted for 15 minutes, and the imbalance starts coming down. So I'm like, okay, all right. APCX halts down. Take my share size way down on that one. And then this VRAR halt open dips super hard. Opens at 503. Get in at 530. It's kind of sketchy right here. Goes all the way up to 6. I'm like, I'm going to hold. I want that halt up. I saw the imbalance, and that was what I was thinking. I'm going to hold for the halt up. And it started testing my limits. At one point right here, it's going to go down below. I think for a second it might get halted down. Granted, I only have 100 shares on, so it's like not a huge position. It's like micro position basically. But still, you know. And so this is not looking great as far as the 1 minute goes. And so it's out of the halt. The only thing I'm going on is the hype of the day, and that it's a small position, and that the imbalance showed really high, and the stock, I want to see it to the highs, and it's holding. So all those things together, I'm like, as long as it kind of holds here, it doesn't like really look like it's gonna halt. That's what I'm gonna count on, and that's what I'm gonna do. And then now it starts pushing up, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna be patient here. It's people are taking profit up here, but there's still buy orders going through. Watching the tape. Meanwhile, PFRX is just ripping, and I totally miss it. The level 2, you can see on the left-hand side here on this far left level 2, I totally don't get any of that. And, that was my mistake on stock selection. And then on VRAR, I was like, I feel like I have to babysit this. Could have set a stop, but whatever. So, mildly emboldened here as it pushes higher. Now it's breaking through 6, or about to break through 6. Boom, boom. I'm not going to take any out. Nice. Very nice right there. I'm going to let it halt up. I'm in at a good position. And I'm like, whew, okay, now it's actually halting. So fast forward a little bit. APCX comes out of the halt, dipping down. And I'm not sure what it's going to do. I don't know if I'm watching it or not, or out in the bathroom. Then it halts up. And I'm like, okay, this thing's still in, or it almost halts up. And for me, I was thinking, okay, it's still in the game. So I'm thinking it's still in the game. The halt level moved up. And I thought this stock was trading very nicely and very easily. Either that or it was just responding to my orders, which is fine too. As long as I'm the first mover and I get a good fill, and it goes in the direction that I purchase, I'm okay. And that's kind of what was happening. That was like why I made that comment at the beginning of the video that today just seems very like market maker stepped out of the way, because one of the market maker tricks is to do exactly opposite that, is to like take your order, accept it, reverse it against you. And you got to be really careful of that 99% of the time. This is one of those 1% days where they just take your order, then get the fuck out of the way and allow you to jump in and rock it. So that was happening. I got a lot of good fills, got a lot of good directionals. Even on my bad ones, yeah, look at that fill. Like it just like shot up to 18, but I still got filled at 12.5. Very happy with that. Holding for a little too long, maybe, on that one. But I just kind of like basically was scalping this through here, taking the dips, trying for the breakouts, being careful with it. And then I get up to $1,000, and it's before 10 a.m. And I bust over a G. PRFX now I have up here. BRAR fails. PRFX is the dominant one, and I totally miss it. And then now I'm looking at it after having not traded it at all, and I'm like, the most I can trade this with, having not made any profit on it, and it's not a hard and fast rule, but it's just like, I don't want to trade it up here. I'm already up enough. This is not a priority for me to risk a whole bunch of money. on a setup where it's like a once. It's basically like these kind of long, continuous green candles. They'll happen maybe 5% of the time. So like once every 20 days, maybe even less than that. Maybe it's like once every 40 days, trading days, you'll get stocks like this. And it could keep going, but it's like such a rare thing that if I were to play like that, I don't think I would be super profitable. Now there are ways where I can like lower my size and get in and try to just scalp it, but I feel like my attention is probably better spent with real size on other names, or even just smaller size trying to hit like names that are curling and stuff, because I feel like they have more potential to open up than something that's already at the highs where like it may keep going and it may really rip, but statistically it's just such that like if I'm wrong, I'm really wrong. Where these other ones, if I'm wrong, I can probably stop out at a little better thing, and more consistently across days I can be profitable. But having said that, I probably won't be able to make as much as other people who are trading this, but they were probably trading it starting here at like 635, 640, 645, when it really, or 945, I'm looking at California time, where it really started the move. And so since I didn't get that, I'm like, all right, I got to focus on other stuff now. So it's just tactical trading stuff where I still haven't got that dialed down yet. And I'm still not confident. But this is now, it's 10 a.m. here, and there are two stocks halted again up. These are both PRFX level 2 windows. I haven't changed this one. Then this other one, TPET, is a oil energy stock, and they purchased some oil fields or some garbage name like news like that, and it rips all the way from under $1 to up to $5. It's up 360%. Comes up and taps the 200 days, or like at least like the 200 EMA and SMA zones, and it made this almost heroic reversal or recovery here. And I start trading it, trying to catch it for an even more of a recovery. I'm thinking it's going to hit 5 and hit that 200 day. It actually never does. And it turns out to be a very sharp and vicious stock. And it turns out to move very, very, very quickly. Yeah. And to have initial moves that are faked. So, all these things you take note of. And also you take note of here, this is like normal volume, spike in volume, reversal, normal volume, spike in volume, and then red candle, normal volume, spike in volume, and this spike in volume is in a candle that's not super big either. And so I'm also looking for a reversal here. I might not actually think about that, as I'm probably too focused on the $4 level right now, because I'm thinking it's just going to evaporate to 5, which, looking at this chart, looking at that range of volatility, I think it's valid. Even looking back on it, the only thing I will say, it is 10 o'clock, and that higher risk of the new at the close of the hour definitely happens. So I'm going to get faked out here a couple times. I think it is going to tap the halt level. Wow, look at that range. Just drops 50 cents right there. Less than a minute, probably 10 seconds there. It's down in the 40s. And I'm like, I should have got that. That was the dip. That was the dip, and I did not take it. There was also a daily level there. I wasn't quite sure what the daily level was. Sometimes I listen to those lines. Sometimes I don't. I generally like to see price action that lines up, and it did line up. It was a valid dip. I size down when I see that level of volatility. only 1,300 shares now. And I'm like, all right, let's get this. And so I don't like this setup specifically on the chart pattern, but I think I still am going to take a trade here. I'm up $1,000 and I'm feeling a little bit too bold and ballsy, and I'm going to take a trade in not a great position here in a second. Good thing I only had small size on it, but still. So right in here, it's flirting under the 75, 70 level. It's being artificially held together at like lower volatility. It's like not making a move in any which way. It's kind of like waiting for people to bait them in. And so I jump in. I get filled at 82, 83, or 79. I'm in profit here for a second. Okay, this is something to note. Like that could have been an okay trade. I would have been up, not a whole bunch. It didn't go exactly where I wanted it to, but it was a bad initial chart pattern setup. And I was just looking at level 2. I was like, this thing's gonna break through 75. This thing's gonna go up to 80 and go 85, go 90, and evaporate to 450, and then just go to the fucking moon. That was what I was thinking. Fucking not true at all. And actually, the opposite true. It's going to fake out like it's going to go to 85 and then totally reverse on me. By the way, day trading's risky. Don't do this at home. This is for not the faint of heart. Most people lose money. Most people don't make it work. Most people will give money to me when they trade. I don't. The disclaimer is my results are not typical. I'm not in any way. I've done this for a long time. I've done this for 5 years. I have been a part of almost every single trap the market has had in the last 5 years, and I've gotten very familiar with it. So it's a long, windy road. I highly, highly don't recommend you do it. This channel is for entertainment purposes only. My goal is to make money trading. This is to help me. It gives me motivation to study and review. Having recording it, it's for posterity. I can watch my progress over the years. And I can also work on my presenting skills all at the same time and work on my communication skills, all allowing me to get better in, and to have like a track record that I can show other people too. So anyways, all that to say, not trying to sell you anything. Day trading is risky. This is just for posterity purposes only, not trying to get you to day trade. It's risky. I'm not an investment advisor. Anyways, back to the action. So I'm up here. I'm thinking 87, 86, but then all of a sudden the bid drops out to 75, and I'm thinking, should I cut this? I don't cut it. There's a little bit of a bid there. The ask is stepping down. I'm rolling my eyes. I'm like, oh boy, I just seen what that volatility did. Is this going to be another one of those? And it is another one of those. And so I cut it. Immediately goes down to 70, 75, 69 by 72, 75 by 70. It's hesitating here. I'm not really thinking about getting in. Pops back up, surprisingly. Let's see what happens. I may have stopped out, not at break even, but I think that was the right stop out there. And that put me under $1,000 on the day. I was a little bit bummed out. It was like, I made a G, and then now it's like $980 or $995 or something like that for the day. And I was just like, wow, okay. But, you got to keep it together. Only lost $50 on that, which is solid. And I'd let it sell off, let it do its thing. And I go look at other stuff. APCX, our old friend, is still up here trading. I have pretty low TPT. Oh yeah, TPT is looking like a TPT halts down. It's on another chart. I have small size here on APCX. It's pushing the highs though. It's probably going for a break of high of day on the break of pre-market high, but I don't want to. I don't want to jump in and risk it here. I wait for it to unfold a little bit. Get back to over $1,000. Probably wait too long. Hold too little. Trade a little bit more. Where's my next trade? Yeah. Okay, so I missed this interchange right here. And I think I was watching it. I wasn't going to trade PRFX up here. This actually, funny enough, is the high of the day. I was just reviewing charts. It is the high of the day at 1663. Ends up consolidating up here, making a few topping candles and then failing after it breaks this kind of uptrend that's made here. And then, okay. So now, what do we have here? We have two. I'm not really amused with this setup, honestly. It looks okay. Doesn't look like it's going to be super promising. Couple things. As kind of a high volume and not moving anywhere, kind of a resistance level. I don't have it marked out here. The pre-market high is not super far away. Kind of expect shorts to be playing off of, longs who are trying to get in for that, using that liquidity. And because of that, I hesitate on it. And so now here's my hesitation. And now, is there an area, like, okay, I see, look, 42. And then I start looking at it again. I'm like, it's hesitating too, but there's green on the tape coming through. There's buyers supporting it. And where is the point where it's the buy signal for me? So look at this. There's a big seller. The big seller gets eaten up. Watch that one more time. It goes from 31 right here. 32. There's a big seller there. It reverses for a second, or comes off of it. There is a, 30,000 share order comes through. And then big sellers eaten up right there. Goes to 33. That is the entry. I take it. I get out immediately. Chicken out. It's holding. I get back in. Oh, nicely done. Nice 4 cents there. And another big seller. But the halt level's right there, so there's not really anywhere for it to go. Going to let it come off of it if it wants to. Not going to buy into a halt on this one. Waiting for that halt level to move. Waiting for it to come down. Ooh, that would have been a nice waiting. Right there, 36 maybe. Yep, 36 would be a solid dip. Now it's going to pop up to 43, 44. 1 minute's looking okay as long as this holds. Timing's okay on the close of the candles. Let's see how this closes. Selling is slowing down as it drops below 36. Probably an ad right here. Oh. Ad right there. I don't do it. I'm just like, this is theoretical. Now it's above 42, just made a new high, pops up 45, selling into it. That would be how I would, on my best times, thinking clearly, ready to take risk, ready to take reasonable risk, and ready to stop out, ready to play well with circumspect 20/20 vision. That's how I would trade it. In the moment, there's many more calculations going through my head at least. Not the least of which is I'm up $1,000, which is like probably on the top end of my like profit distribution. And I like money. I want to keep it. So I'm kind of just like taking it a little bit easier maybe than I should be. Maybe I should be like, I should get my teeth out. And the day continues in such a fashion where I do keep taking more risks, although I do try to keep it chill. So I think the riskiest thing that I did was trading this TPET after this heroic second recovery right here. So not only was there a heroic first recovery, there was a heroic second recovery. And I'm like, wow, this thing's going to hit. This thing's going to hit. Oh, I traded with 100 shares? What am I, like a child? And of course, the one I trade with 100 shares is the one that rips to $4. Woo! And I'm like, should I add? It in fact reverses actually from here, and I make no money on it. But it's funny that I only traded with 100 shares and it went up 20 cents. Anyways, I'm gonna fast forward here to when I actually trade it, which is again kind of a similar setup as before. Like it's not a great. It was like just not a good setup to begin with. Same mistake I had here, where like I'm playing against like a functionally bad chart pattern. You have a double top here, it's under resistance, it's got a whole big red candle here doing like this bearish engulfing thing, which like as much as like chart patterns really don't matter, they kind of do, at least in a short-term sentiment way. And I'm trading against that. And my biggest mistake is I got caught in the level 2 hype of like thinking this thing's going to rip above without it actually having ripped above. If it were up and in blue skies, I think this would have been a more compelling setup. The problem is it made this move off the highs and it was not a compelling setup. And so what I'm going to do for tomorrow, goal tomorrow, in light of all this, is to focus on chart pattern primarily. Okay, there was one key moment while I was trading this after I lost some money where I felt I was like tense and nervous watching level 2. Then I looked at the chart and then immediately my blood pressure dropped like by a third. And I was able to better position because I feel like the signal was happening here and the fake outs were happening here. And so some stocks in some areas, especially when it's ripping to highs and you have no chart information, that's when I think level 2 is the most meaningful. But when you have chart information, I kind of feel like I should be more attuned to that. So that's why that is my goal for tomorrow, to focus primarily on that. And I've gone through phases. Where I've known this and I've had to. And I just, sometimes I like that level 2, because you can sneak in a couple of like little quick 10-cent popper trades, even in a really bad chart situation, because the sentiment so well from the level 2. Like there was points in these trades where I was green, and if I was just going off the level 2 and just taking these small little baby scalps, which is another kind of note, then it would be fine. And I'm writing that down too. But yeah. So I get messed around here. So I get in. I'm green here, and I get a little win. I'm like, yeah, I'm up $1,100. Ooh, I buy really high though. Bad mistake. I'm up for a millisecond, and immediately it's hesitating on me, and I'm having to stop out. A lot. That's a harsh one. Only $100, but actually no, not even. Wow, that was a very generous fill. So, whew, woof, got bailed out a little bit there, and then it's back up, and I'm like, what the fuck? And then I buy again. Oh, and just doing that like same level 2 kind of like they flitter a little light gold in front of your face, and you're like, and you reach for it, and then they take it away, and they flitter it again in front of your face, and you go, and you reach for it, and they take it away. And it's market maker shenanigans. It's traders getting chopped out. It's scalpers who are really good at this, not falling for that, all selling at the highs. It's just people in the situation that is designed to eat the impulsive. It's just designed to eat the people who don't have a bigger perspective on the trade, and those short people hunting for that like short-term gratification of jumping in when it feels good, because when it feels good, it's too late. That's the main lesson of trading, is when it feels good, it's too late. Just gonna write that down too, because I love it. All right. So I'm in at 87 again, feeling ridiculous, and I lose another $100 or so on that. And then I'm like, why did I do that? Whatever. Lose a little more, make a little more. It ends up actually, just chopping around, and I get back above 1,000 on it on the day. The best notable area was like, wait. There was a big move in the price action there. Where did it go? Huh. Okay, so now I'm basically at 1,000. I've increased my size here, funny enough. APCX, I have okay size. I actually increased my size here, but I never use that. And then TPET, I remember I start seeing the play a little bit better on this one. Like I was really focused on that, and I start reading the play a little better. Okay, so I jump in there. I'm immediately red. I'm like, okay, I'm cutting it. Fine. I'll take the L. But it goes back up, and I'm like, huh? Why is it back up? What's going on? Then drops to 45, 50. But it's hesitating here. Jump back in. I get a great fill. Immediately I'm up 10 cents as the bid pops up, and I make $200 off that. And so now I'm like, ooh, okay. So that's how you're playing. And then it pops all the way up to 75. I'm not even mad about it. I'm just like, when can I get back in? Sign me up, coach. I'm waiting for a little bit more of a drop. It doesn't do it. Someone jumps in. Okay. Candle's about to close. It jumps all the way to 80. I miss it again. It's fine. but it's back down. I jump in again. Let's get it back up to 75, 67. Probably going to cut it early. There's that big seller there. Boom. Now I'm up to 1280. It's acting funny up here. Something's going on. There's a high volume green candle. Is it going to get reversed? I'm thinking it's going to get reversed. So I jump in at the highs. I get a good fill though. That probably wasn't the best trade. There was a seller there. I was able to sell nicely. There's a seller in between the spread. I got filled at a really good price, thankfully. And then it starts pushing down to the 50 level again. And I'm like, I probably should stay out of the way. So that was that trade. So now I'm up to 1,300 on the day. Oh, and there's one more trade here. Okay. Why do I get in? What's happening? All right, so now it looks like it might be pushing up. It's 10:36 in the morning. I'm like, is it going to pop to 50? I want it to pop to 50. Candle's about to close. Candle's about to close right here. It closes sort of strong. And then I'm like, it's crazy. It pops down to the 20s. I jump in. It's sort of hesitating. There's a little flash there of like people who are buying up to 37. Bids pop up a little bit more. I'm like, is it going to go up? Is it going to go up? And I cut it off when the bids pop up again. All right, and now I'm up to like 1450, which is a solid day. So now I'm trying to play careful, which is fine. Doesn't really maximize the profit. I end up making a little bit of money here too. Then it drops. I thought I made more money in this area, but I guess I didn't. I made some money doing something. Scalps right there to 1,600. Lost some money right there. And yeah, and then that's about it. And then I made a little bit more on the next video, but I don't think I'm going to play that. Pretty sure that's a good review of the day. Remember, day trading's risky. Don't do this at home. Talk to your investment advisor. This is not investment advice. And I will talk to you guys later. Catch you tomorrow. Peace out.